need to say something to the community, not to Mrs. Mateo, but to the community, because Mrs. Mateo is not worth talking to. But the community of Hawaiian Gardens needs to know something. They need to understand that what Mrs. Mateo already does know, but she's lying about. When the Way Out Ministries takes a student into our school, the parents understand, and the school makes it very clear that the cost that the parent is charged monthly is subsidized by what the Way Out Ministries pays per child, per person. And you see, she can't listen because it's the truth. But that's okay. I want the community here. I don't want her to hear. She already knows. And we've already sent her a letter, and she threw it in the trash. She doesn't want to read it. But the fact of the matter is our children at the Way Out Ministries, their families, when she first came, yes, they paid, I don't believe it was $40. I don't think it was ever that low. I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $70, and we moved it up to $75. But right now, kids pay $75 per student at the Way Out Ministries. Some pay less because they can't afford it. It's a private school, and they do pay. It's true. $75. But it costs the Way Out Ministries $350 to $400 a student per month. So the rest of that money comes from the Way Out Ministries. It's paid by our supporters, by our donors, through our ministry. And Mrs. Mateo knows that because she translated it for the parents every time we had a parent meeting, the entire time she was there. So she knows that. And quite frankly, it was well over $15,000 that her daughter received from our school. Why? Because we care about students. We obviously didn't do it because we were appreciated by the parent. We did it for the student. And that student was a very smart girl, her daughter, a very smart girl, and a very sweet girl who reciprocates the goodness that has been done for her. Whenever she comes to Hawaiian Gardens from where she is, she comes and visits, she brings her child. She has a good relationship with us, okay? I don't know what her relationship was like with her mother. But look, Mrs. Mateo knows exactly what the deal was. And when her daughter finished our school, she graduated, and she was a smart girl, and so she got a school scholarship from the Way Out Ministries, which the Way Out Ministries gives to students that have good academics and are going to Cerritos College. We have a partnership with Cerritos College. So she received a $2,000 scholarship to go to school at Cerritos College. All of that was given to her without any strings attached. There are no strings attached now. I'm still glad we did it for her daughter because it was for her daughter. It was not for her mother. But it really hurts when we've been in this community for 30 years, helping people like her daughter, and then she turns and says the things she says. And it doesn't matter so much to me that she supports Mr. Gomez and Mr. Farfan. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is the lies that she has constantly said from that podium about the ministry not helping her, about they have done nothing for her, done nothing for her daughter. That is an absolute lie, and it's really hurtful, very hurtful. And you know what? It seems to be a lot of people in this city are those kinds of people, you know? Same kinds of things. People that were done well for by the ministry, by myself, by my wife, are the quickest ones to stab you in the back. But I guess you find out really who your friends are very quickly. So I'm sad that that you're such a hateful person, and I'm sad that there are so many people in our city, which I love, that are also hateful in the same way and unappreciative of all that's been done for them. I guess that's something that each one of them is going to have to carry themselves. And Rosie Gomez, you said it perfectly. You have heard so many things, and that's true. You have heard so many things about this person and that person. and from the community news, which lies constantly and spreads propaganda for their own political interest. Let's stop hearing things and let's start finding out what things truly are, and I hope people will vote according to what they know and not according to what they heard. And if you heard something, then I encourage you, and I have said this before, I'll say it again, give me a call on my phone. Write it down, 562-547-6608. Call me and ask me the questions yourself. I just had somebody come who called me, flagged me down at 11 o'clock at night, called me on the phone and said, I just heard this information from someone going door to door talking about their campaign. Is this true? I went over to their house and I said, let's talk about it. And when we were done talking, the person said, I can't believe that. That's a lie. And I said, it is a lie. You're right. There's a lot of lies going on, people, especially at this time of year. I've told you that I would tell you the truth, and I have been telling the truth ever since. I haven't changed my character or my personality since I've been elected here. I've always been the same person. 30 years here in the ministry, I've been the same person. A resident in this community, I've been the same person. I'm the same person now. My position does not change my ethics nor my morals. It does not change my values, and it doesn't change me and make me a liar. I tell the truth, and if you'd like to challenge me on that face to face, I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions, and I'm sure Mr. Rodriguez here feels the same way. So that's all I have to say on that. We'll talk more about the community news tonight on the agenda item.
Okay. Wow. Okay, a couple of things. The last election, or the election in 2007, just like any election, there's an open period for anyone who wishes to run to file. At that time, Victor and I were the only ones who pulled papers and turned them in. So nobody appointed us. In fact, you probably could say that the community unanimously voted us in because nobody wanted to run against us. So, also, I just gonna say, well, okay, I'm gonna say this. Somebody questions my qualifications. You know, I'll just tell you the things that I have done over the years in the community. I had been a member of the Hawaiian Lion Club. I joined that club around 1979, 1980 when I first moved into the community. I was a charter board member for the Hawaiian Little League. My wife and I were members who started the league. During that time when that nude bar moved into town, my wife and I became part of the group that picketed it, and we were successful in having it closed down. Also from that came an organization called Parents United that we were part of that raised money during fundraisers in the city programs, and we did send one. Yeah, we were able one year to donate to a scholarship for one of the kids that received scholarships here for the city. I was a member of the Betty Site Council. I was also served many times on the Public Safety Commission. And for the last 11 years, I've been a usher at St. Peter's Chanel. So, you know, I volunteer for many things in the community, and I think that was my qualifications, and that was why I chose to run when the opportunity came up. And lastly, I think it's clear. There's a difference up here. One side treats people who come up and disagree with us with respect. The other side calls people names: liars, ignorant, blind, pathetic, ungrateful. We've heard all these things for the last 2 years. So that's your character, people. That's your character. If that's the leaders you want, we're going to sit here and call you names just because you disagree with them, that's what you get. So with that, we'll move on. Consent calendar, item C. Items listed on the consent calendar. Oh, I'm sorry. Public hearing, the Public Housing Authority. Okay, item B, consent calendar. Items listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered separately.